Hi, I'm Barry Sahajian. This tutorial is about bass pedal board setup. I brought in an expert to help me out who owns a company called Octave that does custom installations of audio systems in elite cars.
Octave is definitely what you said. We're car audio guys, but we're car audio fanatics, so we love really good sounding audio systems. So understanding audio, frequencies, response time, it's really awesome in a vehicle. I love the vehicle as an environment. This is a totally different environment, but it still has the same principles. So what we'd like to do today is just talk a little bit about Barry's board and why he's got it set up the way he does. So let's talk about that. First thing in Barry's lineup is his loop station. He uses that. It is not a device that affects pitch or modulation or anything. It's just a clean input signal that all it does is take the input and allows you to record. So loop station is the first thing in Barry's setup, but it's unaffected by anything else. It just comes in, it comes out, and it's his recording device. But what is neat about Barry's system, as opposed to a lot of people, he records a lot, so he's using two amplifiers. So we have an amplifier on the left, amplifier on the right. So what we needed, the first thing on his board, is an A/B switch. What this does is allows us to select one output for one amplifier, one output for the other amplifier, or a combination of two. So it's a really neat device where if we want to switch from one amplifier to the other amplifier, we can do that, or we can add both. The second thing on Barry's board is the compressor. We won't spend much time on that, but that's an easy device. We all know a compressor can really add to your sound or enhance your sound by keeping it constricted and not letting you go out crazy, keeping everything in check. And you can notice that the gain is set very low and the compensation compressor limit is set very low. Those are personal preferences of Barry's, but it's a great device and it's usually on most of the time in most of his recording stuff. The second thing that we'll discuss, and I'm going to ask Barry a little bit about this, is we repaired this envelope the other day. We repaired the wires in it. It's a classic 70s product, but look at that thing. It's got road wear on it, and it is just built like a tank inside, but some of the solder joints came apart. We were able to fix it. We fired it up for the first time the other night, and it's an amazing, amazing sound. It really sounds good. It's a classic pedal by Electro Harmonics. Able to repair it, and what he's done with this one is, because it's so good, is selected it for just one amplifier. So our A output is basically just the envelope and the compressor just to that one amplifier, which allows him to do whatever he wants on this side, or think of it as a channel because we've got two separate channels here for recording. So this amplifier just gets something simple out of the A, and then we go to the B. And the B actually is pretty neat because you're going to notice on here there's another envelope on here. So there's two envelopes. So Barry has the chance to use two envelopes at the same time. Barry, why would you use two envelopes at the same time?
Well, you can get different combinations from left and right. You can have an envelope on one side along with a octave multiplex, and then on the other side no envelope and digital delay. And because they come out of separate amplifiers, it's clean. It's not a daisy chain.
So it's really neat that you discuss simplicity, because we really simplified this pedal, but that is a really neat way of thinking about things, because having two of the same thing but having them just one in one amp and one in the other, or a combination of the both because they're kind of a little bit different, you get that sound. Next thing we'll come into is, again, it's an Electro Harmonics product, is your octave. Now you can choose this in or as on one amplifier. And if you combine this with your envelope, which I watch you play a lot of, what's that octave doing for you in relation to the envelope as well? So why do you like both the octave and the envelope on at the same time?
Because you get the best of both worlds, the best of the highs and the best of the lows. You get the envelope and you get the high end and the sharp attack, and the octave below it rounds it out and makes it fuller and bigger, and I just love the way that sounds, that combination.
I totally agree. And look at where the blend's set. It's very low. It's very minimal. You know, it's really not doing anything crazy, which is really nice too. Having those gains set down low and having everything really adds to the cleanliness of the sound. So the next thing out is your delay. So you're adding the delay in there, and that's the pretty much the last thing in Barry's setup in the chain of events that go on here. And let's ask you, why do you choose to add a delay in?
Well, the sequence is to put anything with time at the end of your daisy chain, because you don't want to mess with the time before you go through some of the other effects.
Adds a new layer to, you know, everything that you've got going on. Having this 2 amp setup, and that's a kind of a cool thing. Even from, I might even want to try it sometime, because I've got everything in my little thing set up on one amplifier, but having 2, that's really cool, because you could have that one effect in there, and you know, you're playing through that amplifier, and you can add it to the other amplifier.
So you can pan them together.
Or you can put them
enhance
both.
the
Yeah,
sound.
exactly. Which is why I think, you know, we talked about the envelope earlier. Why would you have 2 envelopes? But you made sense that, you know, they might be the same thing and the same effect, but they're a little bit different. And having it out of the 2 amps, yeah, some good equipment, some neat stuff on the board. Good talking about what you did with the envelopes. Having an A/B switch, that might be something that you might want to add into your configuration and go out to a couple amplifiers, and allows you to select a lot of different levels and keep stuff out. And it looks great. It's a great board. I'm glad we've got it fixed up and looking good, and your sound from it is amazing. I really like playing with it. It's awesome.